We just skip the numeracy results because we're running out of time. But just to describe some of the other things that this survey can help us understand, one of them is what is the relationship between how well one does in literacy and numeracy, for example, and social background. And here I've got a slide which shows the relationship between literacy proficiency and socio-economic background among young adults. Can you click through? And here we see the OECD average, which is in red, and the relationship in Spain, which is slightly less than that of the OECD average for young people. So it shows that among young people in Spain, the relationship is more or less around the average. But again, it's just to describe some of the things that we can do with the results.
Sí. Con el fin de describir algunas de las cosas que se pueden conseguir con estos resultados, en algunos países vemos que el origen social tiene un impacto importante sobre las competencias. Esta otra gráfica nos muestra la línea de la media de los países y la de España, que es algo inferior. Los españoles están en este promedio y en cuanto a la consecución de este tipo de competencias. En las personas, por ejemplo, que han alcanzado, que no han terminado la educación secundaria, las que han terminado la educación secundaria y la terciaria.
Obviously, an issue that is of great importance in all European countries, but in also non-European countries, is that of immigration. And the extent to which language competency provides a barrier to integration and employment in many of our countries. Here I present some information which shows the relationship between the literacy scores of those who were native born across OECD countries, so born in the country, and those who were foreign born, so immigrants who have come from elsewhere. And as you can see, there is a big gap in most countries between the literacy proficiency, the reading proficiency of migrants and the native born.
Aquí vemos también que el tema de los antecedentes u orígenes es importante. Se refiere a la inmigración tanto a Europa como a otros países. Vemos que entre los nativos y aquellas personas de otro origen, dada su comprensión lectora, existe una brecha importante en cuanto a los conocimientos y posibilidades.
And certainly, and as you can see, there's quite a significant gap in Spain. I'm just moving on now to look at change over time. We can click through.
Y hay una brecha importante. Ahora quiero ver cómo han acontecido estos cambios a lo largo del tiempo.
Yeah. Okay. Just to show you that while there are many countries which have good and bad skills, levels of proficiency amongst their population. One of the interesting things is to look at the extent to which, for example, the skills of the young differ from those of the older populations. And certainly one can see that in a country like Korea, where older populations didn't have access to very much education, the expansion over the last 30 years has led to a huge improvement in the literacy levels of Koreans.
Sí, aquí vemos la comparación entre las generaciones más jóvenes y los mayores en los distintos países. Si nos fijamos, por ejemplo, en Corea, y vemos que aquellas personas mayores que no tuvieron acceso a la educación hace 30 años, que la brecha existente entre estos ciudadanos y los más jóvenes es muy importante.
Spain is another country which has made big gains over time. For example, the average score of the older group is some 230, whereas that of the younger group is approaching 264. This is just to show that there has been a great improvement in the literacy levels of the Spanish population over time. But just to make the point that a lot of that improvement actually occurs between the 55 to 65-year-olds and the 45 to 44-year-olds. But just as you can see, the extent to which there's been improvement over generations varies very significantly between countries.
Aquí, si nos centramos en España, vemos que la comprensión lectora ha mejorado mucho entre la población de los mayores, que tiene una puntuación de 230, y la de los jóvenes, que es de 264. Y vemos también las diferencias entre aquellos grupos de edad de 55 a 65 años de edad y de 44 y 45 años.
We might just move on to formal job-related training. Yeah. One of the things that Monsieur Leterme mentioned in his speech was that increasingly we have to see the development of skills and the development of these information processing skills as something to do with lifelong learning, which is a responsibility not only of the school system or university system, but of everyone, of individuals, employers and the education system.
Tal y como se ha mencionado antes, observamos también aquí cómo el aprendizaje de por vida tiene un impacto importantísimo en los resultados de estas encuestas.
Keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on going. Okay, this is just to show you the relationship between proficiency in literacy and access to adult education and training. As you can see, the access to this varies quite a lot over the countries involved, but importantly also one sees that some countries are much better than others in providing equitable access to further education and training. For example, Norway, a far greater proportion of people with low skills have access to job-related training than those, for example, in countries like Korea, Poland and the Slovak Republic.
Sí, aquí vemos también la relación entre la educación a adultos y la formación y cómo estas competencias de comprensión lectora afectan a todo lo anterior. Vemos, por ejemplo, en Noruega, cómo incluso las personas con bajas competencias tienen acceso a una buena formación comparado con la situación de Corea, Polonia y la República Eslovaca.
And Spain is one of those countries which actually could do better in providing more equitable access, particularly to those with low skills, in further education and training in terms of lifelong learning.
España está entre esos países en que definitivamente podrían mejorarse ese acceso equitativo a la formación y a la educación.
Okay, and I'd just like to finish with looking just a bit, give you some information on the relationship between the proficiency in these skills, in this case literacy and labour market participation.
Querría terminar ahora dando una comparativa entre la comprensión lectora y la participación de la población.
Okay, this slide shows you the effect of education and literacy on labour market participation. It shows that people with higher levels of education, that's the green bar, have higher probabilities of being active in the labour market.
Sí, este es el efecto de la educación y de la comprensión lectora en cuanto a la participación en el mercado laboral. Y vemos por estas barras verdes cómo el nivel más alto ofrece mayores de comprensión lectora y formación ofrecen mayores posibilidades en el mercado laboral.
It also shows, and this you can see in the yellow, the orange diamond, that in addition to education, having higher levels of literacy increases the probability of individuals participating in the labour market.
Y aquí vemos también por los cuadrados en tono naranja cómo un nivel más alto en comprensión lectora también ofrece una mayor oportunidad en cuanto al mercado laboral.
And if we turn to wages,
y hablando de salarios,
you can see much the same thing, that the green bars are education. So as your education goes up, so does the likelihood of having a higher salary. But also, in addition to this, for any given level of education, if you have good literacy, the probability of having a higher salary also increases significantly.
También vemos aquí otra comparativa entre la mayor formación y el nivel salarial. Pero también podemos observar cómo una mejor comprensión lectora se traduce en un puesto de trabajo con salarios más altos.
The survey also provides information about how skills are used at work, which I unfortunately have not much time, so I won't go into, and I think that the Spanish team will probably present some results here.
Sí, también ofrece esta evaluación y se ve cómo las posibilidades de comprensión lectora ofrecen mayor garantía de conseguir un buen puesto de trabajo. Pero no me voy a demorar en comentar todo este tema, ya que creo que la representación española va a ampliarles la información en este sentido.
I think one of the conclusions we can make here is that the labour market is actually very good in most countries at distinguishing between the qualifications that people have and the skills that they have. And for that I think we can be quite pleased.
Asimismo, el mercado laboral es mucho mejor en aquellos países donde las competencias son más altas. Por eso, lo que es la evaluación nos complace mucho haberla llevado a cabo porque nos aporta mucha información.
And before finishing, I just want to tell everyone that firstly, the report will be available on the internet tomorrow.
Antes de terminar, querría informarles de que todo el informe estará disponible en Internet a partir del día de mañana.
And in addition to the report, all the data from the survey is also going to be available to be used by researchers. And we hope that this will actually provide a very important database for policy analysis and policy review in Spain, which I think has a lot to learn from other countries, but also in countries across the world to look at these. I think what you can see from this report is these very important issues. Thank you.
Asimismo, aparte de este informe, toda la investigación y base de datos estarán también incluidos en Internet, lo cual creo que es muy importante para los investigadores y para los políticos.